It's a liberal fantasy, and dude, I fucking hate getting political. I don't give a shit about politics, like genuinely. My political beliefs are usually straight up down the middle, okay? I'm not overtly religious. I don't have any issues with some of the leftist progressive ideals, and I don't have any issues with some of the right-wing ideals. I'm like right in the middle, and it leads to a lot of scenarios where if I criticize anything, and this is pretty fucking true, people that are like moderate and in the middle, they get kind of pushed more to the right when you give pushback on like left things, and then the left are people like, oh, you're racist, you're sexist, you're sexist. But modern media is so like on the nose about it. They're not even subtle. It's not even subtle what this is trying to do. Okay, here's our first scene. Let's see. Can you notice anything immediately? Let's put on our media goggles and like let's see what we're being shown live, right? Okay, let's not say, oh, this is woke garbage off the bat. Let's look at the scene. Okay, we have 4 white dudes, army boots, all flannel, whatever. They're clearly the aggressors in this scenario, right? And we have what looks to be resist, I believe Starlight. I guess you could say that's a mirroring of like the Me Too movement or believing Starlight for her claims about the soups and Homelander and blah, blah, blah. We have an indigenous, 2 black dudes, 2 what looks like an Asian, maybe a Latina. We have an indigenous group that is the good side that are protesting a wrong that's being done, resisting. Okay, that's the good side. This is the way this is portrayed. Aggressors, white guys, bad guys. Good guys, mixed population, no white guy in their group. Okay. What can you infer from this? We can say, okay, well, these guys are obviously, they're Republican. They're conservative. That's what they are meant to be. Even if you have no idea about the show or about what's happening in Homelander, the boys, none of that, we can assume these guys are the Republicans. These guys are the liberals. Obviously, they're protesting against rights and violations of speech and blah, 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 blah. The white guy is being super aggressive towards this guy. Okay, and we have our protagonist, who is Mary from Gen V. She's a black woman. Okay, we can't like ignore that. She's a black woman. Let's just boom, let's throw it out there. It's not a big deal. Okay, and then from our next scene, we can see, oh, okay, this guy's scared. This guy is afraid of this confrontation. He doesn't want to fight. We don't want violence right now. We just want to protest peacefully. This guy wants violence, okay? She comes in. She's like, hey, you need to leave, right? Great way to diffuse the situation. But she comes up there and she says, you need to leave. All right, what happens next? She says, oh, this is going to get really bad for you if you stay. And then what happens? This guy just fucking winds up and smacks the shit. He literally punches her square in the face. Mary is on the side of the left. She's on the side of the protesting, the resisting, blah, blah, blah. These guys who are aligned with Homelander naturally are the bad guys. They are the Republicans, conservatives. They hit her, blah, blah, blah. And then we got the truck nuts. Have you ever been to like Alabama or Ohio? A lot of conservative people have nuts on their trucks, and it's usually just kind of funny, but it's also an indicator of the type of culture we are framing in this. These are the types of people that we want to put in this box. Okay, and then we have the 4 dudes, all dudes, surrounding this black chick who presumably is harmless. Okay, for some reason, they have decided we need to beat this shit out of this chick. We need to beat her up and just kill her, whatever, basically, right? In the background, right, what do we have? We have the guy. This is the main aggressor. And in the background, we have what he believes. I stand with Homelander, or I stand Homelander. America's safety first, right? And we can assume that this one is America first, which I think is a Nick Fuentes. I think it's Nick Fuentes' thing, America first. So proud to be probably says proud to be against Starlight or some shit. Keep America safe. All right, these are talking points, and I'm assuming this is Proud Patriot. These are talking points that conservatives use a lot, and we can unanimously agree most of the time any sort of bumper sticker like ideology is probably cringe. But what we are doing is framing this type of person as a bad guy. There's no moral quandary here. There's no gray line. This guy punched a random person, was assaulting a random person. He is the bad guy. And this is the ideology that we are associating with that bad guy. Okay. And then we reveal, oh my God, she's actually a soup. Now, in this world, they are aware of soups. All of these people should have been like, and walked the fuck away, right? Realistically, because no matter what she is, you don't want to fuck with the soup because they kill you. And a lot of the times it's really brutal. It's horrible, blah, blah, blah. And then we get this kind of like self-satisfactory moment where she's like, get fucked. And then she just proceeds to like basically beat the fuck out of all of them, right? We're beating the fuck out of them. Probably killed one or two of them, maybe. And then we have again another shot of this, and it's like, okay, this is the hooded fucking vigilante that comes out and helps the resistance and protects those the voices that are being silenced. That is what it is. This is what I mean when I say the liberal fantasy. This is just, it's cringy, and this is why I don't like this show. And it's not, I didn't even have any issues with the soup that like changed genders and powers. I didn't care. It doesn't bother me. But stuff like this bothers me. And it doesn't bother me in the way that like a lot of times they'll say like, oh, well, we're just showing you the reality, right? This is the reality of it, right? Is these are the people that are resisting and these people are evil. But what you chose to do was have the scene be 4 white dudes oppressing minorities, and then the minority chick comes in and basically almost kills them and then walks away all cool. If you try and point any of this stuff out, again, if I just say this is the liberal fantasy, pretty much someone is going to take that as like, oh, you're one of those guys. And it's like, no, I'm really not. But then you get stuff like this, and it's like, you're not even trying to hide the beliefs of the people writing this. This is 100%. You had to cast them, you had to direct them, you had to write the dialogue. This was all a key part of the story moving forward. There's like this perpetual hold on media that I really don't want to say it, but it's like progressive people and like, you know, left-leaning people, when they insert politics into shows, they never do it subtly. It's never subverting my expectations. It's never like showing me like an unseen side. It's always like in my fucking face. You're taking the worst aspect of a party, which we can associate. We can undeniably accept that sometimes people like this exist. But they're usually so far at the end of the spectrum that we don't really need to factor everybody under the same blanket. We call them extremists, right? That's what the term like alt-right or leftist is, like the extreme versions, right? There's a bunch of people in the middle that genuinely get along and are okay, but media always wants to fuel the fire. They always want to like. This is part of like cinematography and storytelling. You are telling a story with this frame right here. You don't need to go any further than this, because this explains everything. 4 white guys, indigenous group, resist. These guys are aggressing. What does that tell you? The indigenous people are resisting and the white people are oppressing them. Now, we can say that America is froth with the oppression of minorities and blah, 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 blah. We can acknowledge that. But this is so on the nose, and it's in 2025, and it's in a world where superheroes exist, and the superheroes are like fucking maniacal murderers, and there's genuinely people that are just okay with this. And from what we've seen, it's actually kind of the opposite, right? Now this one does a little bit. This is before, like, I would almost acknowledge that this scene. This is where Homelander kills the random civilian. This scene is better because there's people from all walks of life supporting this. And it almost kind of feels a little bit more like believable in a sense, right? And then we got this one guy, he literally has the hashtag #MeToo. I didn't even know that. He literally has like, and he throws the can at this guy, at Homelander's kid, all right? Now, first of all, we just got to acknowledge that he throws a can at a kid, which is just weird. Like, why would we throw a can at the kid, right? It's just, maybe he missed, okay? But This is the part that is really concerning, okay? This is where the parallels of real life don't really translate very well into media. This was like, I think 2 years ago, something like that. I don't remember. Time's tricky, but given recent events, okay, Homelander, he kills the guy, right? He kills the guy, and then what happens? Everybody cheers. Everybody cheers on the fact that he just killed a random civilian. Take into account what's recently happened in September, okay? The assassination of Charlie Kirk. What we have is a real life parallel here where someone was murdered and one side of the political spectrum was cheering it on. They were all about it. It was the greatest thing ever. And it was the left side. But the media is portraying this as something the right side would do. Someone even said, yeah, it's interesting how this was supposed to represent Trump when in reality it was the opposite side. When you have a certain political ideology that is prevalent in the creation of media or arts or whatever the hell, what you end up getting is a lot of stuff like this, where they project things that they think the other side would do when in reality it was them.